someone mentions the ultimate driving machine, you're probably thinking of something like this. Not this. While it may not appear so, these two share a little bit more blood than you might think. Sure, this has a motorsport-derived S54 inline-6 with ITBs, 333 horsepower, all through a 6-speed manual driving the rear wheels. And this. Also a rear-wheel drive sports compact, wearing the same blue and white badge. But the turbocharged inline-four cylinder under the hood is what actually ties it deeper to BMW's racing heritage. You're probably saying to yourself, what? FCP Euro is telling me that a mass-produced F30 with a turbo 4-cylinder, one of the most controversial generations in modern BMW history, has a deeper racing heritage than the legendary E46 M3? Well, yeah, kind of. Everybody thinks that BMW's bread and butter has always been silky smooth, naturally aspirated inline sixes, but in reality, the Bavarians are also excellent at a few other things. Pretzels, beer, and more importantly, building fantastic driver's cars out of their everyday commuters, with a well-tuned 4-cylinder and the IS badge on the rear end, creating a subtle wolf in sheep's clothing, like the F30. Sort of. But before we talk badging, a brief history lesson on the BMW 4-cylinder, which lives at the center of our story today. As World War II ended, availability and breadth of affordable, exciting autos was limited to muscle cars, like the Mustang or Camaro, or a fantastically unreliable British sports car like the Spitfire or MGB. So, when BMW introduced the 2002, it was the car nobody knew that they needed. Yet, a European rear-wheel drive sports compact with a manual transmission, incredible handling, and space for more than just two people, and a 2-liter 4-cylinder designated the M10, an engine which turned out to be the platform for some of BMW's most famous engines. It provided the block for both the high-strung S14 and the legendary E30 M3, as well as the M12, the 1,300 horsepower, yes, you heard that right, 1,300 horsepower turbocharged 1.5-liter that powered a number of winning Formula One cars through the 1980s. Wait, did you say turbocharged? Yup. And BMW didn't reserve turbocharging just for its race cars. Building on the success of the 2002 and now highly sought-after 2002 Turbo launched in 1973 and arguably set the baseline for what was to come in the 3 Series and M3 lineup going forward, with the M cars being focused on all-out performance, but offering an engaging driving experience on the lower trims as well. So, we have the sporty commuter 2002 and the high-strung 2002 Turbo. But what about the driver who wants something a little more in the middle, a little less Red Riding Hood, a little more Big Bad Wolf? This is where the 2002 Ti and 2002 Ti come into play. Performance versions of the 2002, which featured better brakes, better suspension, and more horsepower, but weren't as all-out as the 2002 Turbo. Arguably, this started the concept of a wolf in sheep's clothing, the compact lineup. While the 2002 anchored BMW's success, the E30 is what continued BMW's success into the modern era, bringing the homologation spec E30 M3 with its high-revving S14, as well as the 318IS. The Volkswagen GTI killing back-to-basics sports compact with the new double overhead cam M42 engine. And introducing the IS badge to the 3 Series that became known for reasonable performance, maintaining the same idea the 2002 Ti and TII set forth. This IS badge theory continued on throughout the next few generations of cars too, albeit not always with a 4-cylinder, not always naturally aspirated, and not always under the IS badge. Over the next few years, we saw the E46 330i ZHP as well as the E9X 335IS, both upgraded 6-cylinder driver spec cars that offered a little bit more than just their base forms, as well as spreading to other trims like the X3 and Z4. In 2005 though, Europe got a glimpse at what a modern day 2002 Ti would look like in the E90 320Si, which was an extremely limited run European model built as a homologation car so that BMW could enter the World Touring Car Championship that year. Then, 2012 came along and BMW turned back a few pages in their book, reintroducing the four-cylinder to the US market with the F30's N20, a 2-liter turbocharged four-cylinder that produces 240 horsepower in its mid-range 328i trim. But unfortunately, losing most of the excitement that tied back to the four-cylinder IS and SI trims of the past. Sure, the M Sport package exists, but mostly provides cosmetic and luxury improvements as opposed to the focus of performance in the past. That said, when you take a step back and really squint, you can see the bones of a true BMW are there. There's an engaging, competitive transmission sending power to the rear wheels, yes, through a ZF 8HP automatic transmission, and a tunable, rev-happy four-cylinder placed relatively cleverly in the engine bay, keeping true to BMW's 50-50 weight distribution and leaving room to dial in the handling. Sound familiar? Now, the N20 and F30 as a chassis aren't perfect, yet. With a history of timing chain issues, oil system problems causing engine failure when pushed hard, chassis nuances like the switch to electronic power steering, and questionable cooling system reliability, but we're talking BMW here, and what BMW doesn't have cooling system issues, at least on the modern side of things. That's why we're here, in the FCP Euro shop. We've bought an F30 328i to prove that what's often looked upon as BMW's nosedive into unexciting and unloved grocery getters is actually a true BMW at heart. We know that hiding behind that largely plastic cover, there's plenty of potential to build what we think BMW should have made from the factory. An enthusiast spec F30 that's really a wolf in sheep's clothing. Truly worthy of an IS badge, showing that it can hold its own on the track, the back roads, and as a grocery getter, all while embracing the true racing heritage that BMW set forth over 50 years ago. So with all that said, it brings us here in the shop, day one of this build, and I'm leaning here on our F30 328i project car, which looks far from stock. And that's because the previous owner had made some modifications to it, so it has an M Sport front bumper, has an M Sport rear bumper, and then it has this 4 Series F80 M3 fender situation going on, which these are going to go bye-bye because they do not fit the car at all. But originally when we were looking to find one of these cars, we wanted to find the most base F30 328i N20 powered rear-wheel drive car that we could find, and literally could not find one anywhere. They were either Sulev N26 cars or X-Drive or a combination of the two, and we couldn't find a really good base model example. And so we settled on this car that has had some of these modifications done, including an exhaust. So we're not really starting from a stock car per se, but this car doesn't have any other modifications outside of cosmetic and an exhaust. Everything appears to be original on it. It needs a lot of work. We're not sure if it needs timing chains yet. We're not sure about the general condition of the engine. So we're kind of going to this totally blind, which is why we're going to be replacing literally everything on this car. Here we go. This is a small preview of what is going to be going on this car, and all of these parts are available on our F30 3 Series catalog at fcphero.com. In fact, this might look impressive, but there's a whole bunch of other stuff somewhere else in the shop. All the details, all the nuances, we're going through all this all together because we have 3 weeks to get this car ready to be debuted at Impact, which is a huge BMW event at Pocono Raceway in Pennsylvania. That is what we promised. That is what we're looking to do. Do not have a lot of time to do this. So I'm done talking about this build. We need to start actually doing the build. So let's go ahead and jump into it and get started. I am kind of curious though. Oh. We're doing a timing chain. Get in there, you. Blinded by the light, pump it up. You would not be able to do this with a factory exhaust. 0 chance. The sprocket sits on there like that, and then these all get sandwiched together with the big bolt.